Tom, let me start with you. What were your top takeaways from this extraordinary statement today?
Well, I think a couple of different things. One, according to the report, there were 70 subpoenas that were issued in this investigation. 74,000 documents were reviewed, 179 interviews. As you said, 41 of those interviews were under oath, and investigators responded to 280 tips. The report, 165 pages in length, clearly details the steps the investigation took. It also includes a legal foundation for their arguments that the governor's office retaliated. So not only does it say, well, we believe that there was retaliation against at least one of the women, one of the 11 women who they found corroborating information for the incredible claims of sexual harassment, but they also lay out the legal basis that they can come to some of their conclusions. So that's a significant portion of this report as well. It has not been previously known, not to, at least to this reporter, that a New York State trooper, one involved in the governor's protective detail, was one of the women that were harassed here. As you heard Ann Clark say, that the allegations that she raised were corroborated by other New York State troopers. The report goes into significant detail here about what they say they found when it came to the governor's in the governor's chambers, their conduct in their environment. They describe it as a toxic work environment. On top of that, there appear to be numerous accounts from people inside the governor's chamber that detail how they knew that these efforts to retaliate or rebut the claims from at least one of the women, if not multiple women, were wrong, and that there was a real fear here that the governor, if you made a claim against him, is somebody who would retaliate against you. So that's a key finding from this report. It's been just 17 days since the governor was interviewed, a nearly 12-hour interview with the two lead investigators in this case, June Kim and Ann Clark. Now, the governor, for his part, according to the report, denied some of the allegations, says he couldn't recall in other specific circumstances. His spokesperson has been very aggressive to reporters and on Twitter, rebutting some of these claims over the past several weeks, in noting and trying to point out that this investigation came from the Attorney General, who they say, although she has never stated publicly, is going to run for governor herself. And on top of that, raised allegations of bias by one of the investigators, former acting U.S. Attorney June Kim. It would be malpractice of this reporter not to point out that this investigation was authorized not by Attorney General Letitia James, but in fact by the governor's office himself. And it was authorized by Beth Garvey, his former senior counsel. On top of that, the public report of this was something that the governor's office asked for. On top of that, the claims about June Kim's bias, well, the investigation into one of Governor Cuomo's top deputies was actually brought by Preet Bharara. It was not brought by June Kim. And while Kim is believed to have worked on that investigation, he was not in office when Mr. Prococo, who was the person that was charged in that instance, was found guilty by a jury. So just a little bit of context there as we examine some of the claims made by Cuomo in rebutting some of this. Up until today, we have yet to hear from the governor following this press conference and a report which I think can best be described as withering about his behavior and the behavior of those in his office.